Hello, everybody. My name's Joel Deadmau5. I've been following Jonathan Winbush for quite some time, and stay tuned here as he dives deep, really deep, into Cinema4D and Unreal. Let's go!
What up? Winbush here. And today I'm excited to give you a teaser of my course created in Unreal, and this is going to be exclusively on Mograph.com. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. This is probably something I get asked about a lot, how you can take like your character animations from Cinema4D into Unreal Engine. The way that I figured out how to do it is actually exporting as FBX files and then bringing those into Unreal, kind of similar to how we did it back in the Mixamo section. We kind of do it the same exact way here. So I have my scene open right here in Cinema. This looks familiar. This is the Mograph logo. I figured we could just use this scene over again. And then I have this character in here. You can see our character is doing a thriller dance from Michael Jackson's Thriller. I actually got this animation over from Mixamo. So if you have a Mixamo account, they have like all the thriller dances here. So I just exported this out as a 60 FPS file, brought it into Cinema, brought it into my scene, and we have all of our keyframes here and everything. So if I look into my animation tab, we have all of our keyframes here. We have our character rig. Everything's already set to go. So if I come back down here to my startup, what I'm going to do here again is show you the bad example, and then I'm going to show you the proper way of doing it. So what most people have been doing, they've been taking their entire scene here. They have all the characters animate and everything. They save it out for Cineware, but when they bring it into Unreal, it doesn't give them the effect that they were looking for. And let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to save this out. Actually, let me click Control S just to save it. And now I'm going to save it out for Cineware. I'm going to look for where I have my project saved here. There we go, Mograph dance underscore UE4. I'm going to save that, and then I'm just going to open up Unreal in the meantime. So while that's saving in the background, I'm just going to get this all set up here. So as I always do, start deleting stuff out. Actually, let me take out atmospheric fog and my sky sphere, something like that. Then my scene should be saved out. So I'm going to click on Datasmith. I'm going to look for my file here, Mograph dance underscore UE4. Click open, click OK, import everything, and then just wait for this to import. Now we have our scene here in Unreal. I'm going to click on this just because this little red area drives me crazy. Make this movable. And there we go. So now if I come into my scene here, it makes our character super shiny for one, which isn't what we want. But also, if I come down here to animation, double click on this to bring up my sequencer, you can see it brings up like all these null points and everything, and it's not connected to our character. So whenever we scrub through this, you can see it has like our animation in here, but it's not connected to our character. It didn't properly bring him in here at all anyway. And there's really no way, at least that I know of, how to like really bind this together. Like when you have it on a 0 frame, it's not exactly matching up and everything. So the way that I would go about this is I would usually bring in like my set, which will be my environmental pieces and everything. And then once I have that imported as Cineware, then I would bring over my characters as a FBX later on. So it's kind of like we're building everything in pieces. We're going to have our world, bring that in, and then we're going to export out our characters and have our actors in our scene and bring it all together in Unreal. So I'm just going to close this out because this isn't how we want to build this at all. So I'm going to click no to save. And then what I'm going to do here is I can actually take this. I'm going to delete him for right now. So what you'll probably want to do is save these in multiple areas just so you have backups of these. And then I'm going to come back over here. Actually, I'm going to come down here and get rid of these textures that I don't need. So if I come down to edit, delete unused materials like so. Then I'm going to come back to file, save project for Cineware. And then I'm just going to name this one Mograph background and click save on that. And then I'm going to hit Control Z to bring our character back in. Then I could delete everything else that I don't really want. Come back down here to edit, delete unused materials like so. So now we just have our character in here. And then I'm going to come up to file and I'm going to click on export. Now what I want to do here is export a FBX file, but there's a certain way that you want to do it. So I already have it selected, but usually if this is your first time, it's going to say 2019, which we don't want to use right now. We want to use version 7.5, which here it says 2016, 2017, 2018, but I noticed in previous versions, it just says 2016. So you just want to make sure that you're using version 7.5 here, 2016. Now we have some options here. I usually just leave everything at default here, except for when you turn this on for the first time, bake all frames is not going to be check marked. So I make sure to check mark that on. We're going to click OK. Then I'm just going to save it in here. So I'm going to do Mograph dance underscore UE4 because this is going to make an FBX file, not a C4D file. I'm going to click save. Export FBX. And then from here, I'm going to open up Unreal. I'm going to have a blank slate populated with our environment and then bring our character in. So I have Unreal open back up again. Going to delete this floor plane, delete this here, delete the atmospheric fog, sky sphere, and there we go. So now I'm going to come up to Datasmith and import my scene. So Mograph background, there we go. Mograph underscore background. Click on this one, click OK. Click import, and then we have our scene all built out. I'm gonna click on my light, click movable, and then I'm just gonna texture this up again. So I'm gonna come over to my materials. I'm gonna click right here on the right, come down here, just select all these, make these all red. There we go. Now I'm gonna make this one all black, and then I'm gonna get to the text after that. Then we should be in a good spot. So I'm gonna click on this text here, make this all black as well. And then we're gonna be ready to bring our character in. So now we have our scene all built out and everything. This is our environment. If we want to, just so it's not so dark in the background. And actually, I'm gonna delete this ground plane here. Come back to basic, make a plane. I just like using Unreal's plane, like so. And then let's make this like 1000 by 1000. There we go. So that looks good there. And then I'm just going to add like exponential height fog in here. Make this red. Maybe I could color pick on here. Actually, that looked pretty cool, but I'll do that. There we go. So something like that. And then I can move my light around. So I'm gonna reset my light. So what I'm going to do here is click on a content folder, and we're not going to use the Datasmith to bring them in. We're actually going to use the FBX to bring them in. So in order to do that, it's kind of like how we did with the ABC file. We have an import button here. We're going to click on this, and then we're going to look for our file. So Mograph underscore dance underscore UE4. I'm going to click on this one, click open. And then from here, there's some stuff that we're going to want to make sure we're checked. So we want to bring in our skeletal mesh. We want to import our mesh. And then right here, we want to do geometry and skinning weights. And then down here, this is the most important part, import animations. Make sure we click this on. And we want to just do exported time. Then everything else should be good in here. So I'm just going to scroll down to make sure. Yeah, everything's good. So now let me pick this up. Down here where it says import all, I'm going to do this. Now it looks like everything's imported. I'm just going to close this message box out. So now you see we have a couple of options down here. The one that we want to use is this one with the purple line down here, and he's in a T-pose. So I'm just going to click this and drag him in here. And I can actually hit this yellow arrow to reset him to 0. And you see we have our character here in direct 0 and our T-pose. So in order to get him to be animated, we have to come over to our sequencer, which I believe we don't have one in here. Let me look. So yeah, we actually, no, because we didn't have any animation in the background. So what we're going to do is come up to cinematics, come down to add level sequence, and then I'm just going to click save. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on my character where it says Mograph underscore dance. I'm going to click and drag this in here. And then you can see right here, it actually has this tab that we never really seen before. It says animation. So if I click on this, this is going to give us our animation. So if we have several different animations in here, it would give us those options. So we went over this in the previous chapter. This is the same exact thing, except for we're coming from Cinema4D this time. So I'm just going to click on this, and you can see it's extended all the way out here. And I believe our file size, actually, let me come back here, make this 60 FPS. Then if I come down here in the bottom right, let's just make this 1700 frames. I forget how many frames this is, but I believe it's pretty long there. Yeah, he goes like way off screen. So if I come down here, I'm going to click this bracket, and that's just going to be my end. And there he is right there. So if I go back to the beginning down here in my lower left, click play. Now you can see our character is moving inside of our scene, and he's brought in from Cinema4D. And I know this is something that's been driving people crazy, but this is the way that I found that you want to do it. You want to make sure you bring your character's animations separately from your scene, and then you can export them out as FBX files. Hopefully you guys are liking what you're seeing there. I'm having a lot of fun making the course. If you do dig what you're seeing, make sure you go to Mograph.com and make sure you get up to date on when the course drops. And until next time, stay fresh, keep creating, and I'll catch you in the next video. Make sure you go to Mograph.com. I'll check you there. Take care. What up? Winbush here, and today I'm excited to tell you guys about my brand new course coming to Mograph.com, Creating the Unreal, a motion graphics guide to Unreal Engine. I'm going to show you guys how you can integrate Cinema4D so you'll be crazy comfortable in no time. So we're going to start by exploring the marketplace, and then from there I'm going to show you guys how to set up a scene. We're going to get familiar with the content browser, the viewports, how to set up the sequencer for the timeline, and then from there we're going to get into lighting, texturing, rendering. I'm going to show you how you can integrate Quixel Bridge with Unreal so you have access to that full library of surfaces and 3D models and everything else that they have on there. And so if this sparks your interest even a little bit, then this course is just for you. So go to Mograph.com to sign up for updates on when this course becomes available, and let's create the Unreal together.
Mograph.com, an online resource for motion graphic artists. Start your week with the Mograph podcast. Industry news, interviews with your favorite artists, and terrible humor. Watch live shows and interviews from Mograph events like NAB, SIGGRAPH, Half-Res, and local meetups.
This is exactly what I should be doing.
Our Mograph Talks feature live demos and motivation from artists all around the world.
Sometimes you gotta make stuff that you're not gonna put on your reel, and I'm not here to judge.
What if Rick and Morty show up for the countdown at midnight? That's where I peaked in life, in my career.
We gotta stop this thing, Rick! It's gonna kill us all!
Hear from the people that create your software, design your render engines, and artists that are changing the face of modern motion graphics.
You get that render done. Yeah, you better frame what?
Mograph tutorials and online classes will teach you about Cinema4D, After Effects, as well as other popular software and render engines.
Throw in HDR Studio, take the render settings, pick the HDR, put in a reflection, and gorgeous.
Join the conversation in our live sessions.
Ah, that's so funny. All right. I'm gonna live forever.
Subscribe today and get the latest updates on our YouTube and other social media channels.
Take all your dreams and just do it!
Subscribe to Mograph.com.